Hi everyone, my name is Paulina and you are watching Bites of Books. Today I come to you with a book haul, and basically I have 13 books to show you, and let's get started. So first I have another book for my, by the way, for my Discworld series, and that is Going Postal. And this one follows the postal system in Discworld, and we follow Moist, who is a character who is supposed to be dying, but then he gets the post of actually being a postal worker. So I expect great fun and a lot of mischief in the postal service. After that, I got Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And basically, I was very intrigued with this book because it is about twin brothers who are born in India, and their mom is Indian and their dad is British. And at that point, there is a lot of like political turmoil and things like that, and they are forced to flee to Ethiopia, where there is also a revolution about to happen. So it is very interesting from the get-go because there are so many different perspectives going on here, and I'm really interested in it. And then I got James Michener, Tales of the South Pacific. I have read his book called Hawaii, and that was like 1,000+ pages, but I was just hooked. He really talks a lot about the origins of the South Pacific, and also these are all supposed to be like short stories. And a random fun tidbit was that it contains $1. Like I got it at a thrift store and it came with it. Apparently no one checked it, but yeah, somebody uses dollars for bookmarks. That's fun. Okay. And then I got The Attack by Yasmina Khadra, and Yasmina Khadra is an Algerian author, and he writes about a surgeon in Afghanistan, no, in Tel Aviv. And so all of a sudden his life is like turned upside down when a suicide bombing happens, and his wife is like right in the middle of everything. I don't know much more about it, but it obviously talks about all of the social implications, the emotional implications, and all of what happens with him at the point of this attack and afterwards. So yeah, a very important read right here. And then I went to Barnes & Noble. This is probably the one new book that I have bought in the past few months, and that is Neil Patrick Harris's autobiography titled Choose Your Own Autobiography. And it is really fun because it is modeled after all of the Choose Your Own Adventure books, where you start reading and then at the bottom of the page it says, if you want this, go to that page, and if you want that, go to this page, and so on. And it's got pictures of his family and his works, and there's some really fun like questionnaires, poems, I think, recipes, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this probably around Christmas time because it'll be like a nice fun light read for that, and or probably right after Halloween. I don't know, but yeah, this one's gonna be fun. And then I went to another bookstore, well, a news bookstore, and I got The Lives of a Cell by Lewis Thomas. And Lewis Thomas is a scientist, and he has written a lot of nonfiction science books. And in this one, he talks a lot about how the world is like a cell in all the ways of how it functions and everything. And he writes very accessibly, like anyone can read this book, that you don't have to be a scientist or anything like that. And yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this one as well. And then after that I got June Palahari's The Lowland, and this book is a family saga, and it goes from the 1960s to the present, and it goes from India in the 1960s to America in the present. And so it deals with a lot of issues about immigration, about family, about heritage. And yeah, I mean, her writing is just beautiful and very powerful. I have read the namesake before this, and it was really, really great. So I do think that this is going to be a really, really good read. And then I got 4 books by the same author, and they're all by Margaret Atwood. So the first one is Lady Oracle. And I got these also because they have all of these vintage covers, and you'll get to see them as I show them to you. This is basically a story of a writer, and she writes gothic romance, and she gets very famous, but then like her life is supposedly perfect, but she gets very overwhelmed with her life, like her marriage is in trouble, she might have a stalker, like all of these things, and her solution is to actually fake her own death. And so this is like totally Margaret Atwood style of like putting a sort of interesting twist to something that a lot of people might be going through, especially like famous people, writers, singers, artists in general. And it also says that it's supposed to be kind of funny and complex and deep, and that's basically all of her writing. So yeah, this is one. And then the next one I got was Life Before Man, and this is supposed to be like 2 couples, and they're like all like having different troubles in their marriages, and they're like it's all just about like their lives together and how they overcome their obstacles and everything. I am not sure, but I think at some point the couples like meet and there's something that happens. So yeah, this one might also be a good read. And then we have a collection of short stories, Bluebeards, Bluebeard's Egg, and Other Stories. And yeah, so this one, all of the different stories are very unique, of course. And but the one that caught my attention was the one that says a political activist feels a great bond with his kidnapped cat. I mean, I'm just interested from the moment that it says cat, but the cat is kidnapped. I'm not sure what's happening, but I want to read this. And then the last one of Margaret Atwood's is this beautiful cover, and it is called Bodily Harm. And this is the story of Rannie Wilford, who is a journalist, and like there's like a theme here that she's also kind of just like tired of her life, like she's got like a crisis happening, and so she decides to go on a vacation, and she ends up in the Caribbean. And it says that it's an exploration of the lust for power, both sexual and political, and the need for compassion that goes beyond what we ordinarily mean by love. And yeah, I mean, this is very much her style and everything. And I mean, I just love all of these covers. Like they're very, very cool, very vintage like. Some of them use like famous paintings, like this one. This one is The Peaceable Kingdom by Edward Hicks from like 1840, 1845. And then this one is another painting, I believe, but I don't know which one this is. And yeah, but they're all beautiful and with a lot of like broken spines, which is awesome. I love that. And I think few of them actually have like annotations in them by the previous owners. And then the last 2 books I got are by also the same author, and it is Octavia Butler. I have been wanting to get her books for a long, long time. She is an African American sci-fi writer, and this is Wild Seed. And this, like in the back, it says, he could not die, she could not be killed. Together they were locked in a war of wills. And it says it takes place from the American jungles to the colonies of America, Doro and Aniawu, where the father, mother, and gods of an awesome unborn race, and their love and hate wove a pattern of destiny that not even immortals could imagine. And I mean, it just sounds amazing. I really have been wanting to read like her writing for a long, long time. And yeah, and the cover is also pretty cool. And then lastly, but not least, I also have The Parable of the Sower. And this one is about environmental and economic crises that lead to a sort of like dystopian world. Um, so this is like really, really interesting. Um, I mean, like, I haven't really known much about her writing other than she wrote from like the 60s or even before that. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to reading these. So those are all the books that I have acquired in the past month or so. I pick them up as I find them at the thrift stores or at the library bookstore as well. And like I said, the Neil Patrick Harris book was kind of like a complete fluke and very, very much a buy that I did not expect, but that I just kind of had to do it. Plus, it was the only one left in the store, and I just had to get it. But anyways, that is all that I have for you today, and I will be talking to you very soon. Bye.